mean, I deer hunt a lot of places, but this is one of my favorite spots. And you saw me brush hog it a couple times this year. If you've been following along with the channel, you saw me come in here when there were trees taller than the tractor and brush hog it. And then we came back about, 2 or 3 months later, and we hit it again. And when we did it again, we did it around the first part of September, end of August, which is usually a dry time. And so what that does is the stuff that we cut, we try to deprive it from water for a while so it can't quickly heal from being brush hogged, and that tends to kill more weeds than normal, more brush than normal. And what I told you was, by doing that at the time that we did it, all this new grass would grow up. And the new grass is kind of like a winter rye, and the deer absolutely love it. And if you look at the field, it looks green. Let me get down here close and show you what's coming up. Okay, here's a pretty thick spot. Let's get down here close and zoom in. All of this tender stuff, this is new sprouts. This is what deer browse on. They will nibble on just about any new soft leaf, just about any. But this is what I'm talking about. This grass that's in my hand, it's real fine and it will carpet up. Of course, you can see it. You know, there's a lot of vines growing in here, and that's going to happen. But like I said, deer browse on these. That's new growth. Here's old growth. This is the bottom of a blackberry vine, and it's tough and dry, and it don't roll up in your hands. It's stiff. But this new tender stuff, that's deer buffet right there. Same with this little weed right here. This is tender. Deer browse on it. It's green. But this green grass that I was showing you, this stuff stays green all winter. And by getting this top coat off and getting everything knocked down, the sunlight is hitting those seeds, and now all that tender green has grown up. Now, if these milkweeds get tall, I'll run over this little patch here in the middle. And I'm guessing it's milkweeds. It had white sap in it. But for the most part, I mean, I'm down at about coyote level. I'm lower than a deer. I'm sitting down on my knees. And I can still see everything in this field from this level. Today is September the 19th. And we typically get a frost around the end of October. So we're a month out, maybe, from a frost. And that will knock a lot of this summer plant back and allow that green to keep on coming up. So it's kind of a natural food plot if you can stage when you brush hog. I can still see down in those little patches. So I'm pleased with everything. There's a little bit of Johnson grass coming up right over there on that knoll, and a few straggler Johnson grass out here, but they won't get tall enough to do anything before they get hit with the frost. Remember, our gun season opens the second Saturday of November. And I'm down here a lot during bow season, but I don't really bow hunt. I might come down here and call a coyote or shoot squirrels or something, you know, from time to time. But, and I'm down here checking game cameras a lot. But as far as this field, I want it ready by the second week of November. Now, if I wasn't seeing all that green ryegrass, that winter grass coming up, I'd be thinking I probably need to put in a food plot. But I'm seeing enough of that when you see me hunting this field in November and you see a video, you'll see how green it is. And I'm just going to let it go natural. I'm not going to put a food plot in this year. Let's go down in the slough and check the camera. All right, I put this camera back at the low spot in the slough where the deer typically cross. Coyotes, fox, coons. We've got coyotes, fox, coons, armadillos, swamp rabbits, otters. You know, the crows really make it tough. I'm gonna tell you something. That right there is a pecan tree. Let's go over here and have a look at this thing. My, what a pecan. Of course, you can tell it's a pecan because there's all kinds of cut up pecans underneath it. But look at it. I mean, I'm no lightweight. Look at it compared to me. This is a giant tree. We know it's a pecan because of the leaves. Because that there's chewed up pecans underneath it from the squirrels. Let me give you a look up that big pecan tree. Of course, you know, 3 of us couldn't reach around it. But look at it, it goes up there and splits. Let's just follow that one limb out. That one limb is probably the end of it, which is right there. Probably 100 feet from me. Even right up there where it forks, I'll guarantee you it's 8 foot around. Big. Yeah. There's a little Arkansas pecan. These are the wild pecans. Once you get that husk off, you know, that pecan's about half that size, not really much size. How old do you think a pecan tree like that is? All right, let's get over here and check this camera. Enough tree hugging for one day. The problem I've had with this camera, it's not really with the camera, it's with the location. There hasn't been any real rain to speak of, so the slough's been dry. And if the slough's dry, the deer can cross anywhere they want. Now, if I was going to get bit by a copper-headed rattle moccasin, it would be right here. In this, by this old dead log and in all this grass. All I'm seeing are my tracks in and my tracks out. There's some deer tracks there. Look kind of old. As you can see, the slough is dry. Just a big long puddle going back that way. Always looking for arrowheads. Do you see any arrowheads? That's where you find them. There's our camera. If I don't have a lot of action, I'm going to take this camera down. There's your problem. That guy right there is zipping across the water. I know. Preacher, can you identify that snake? I can. He's got 22 written all over him. If he comes over here, he's a goner. I typically don't mess with snakes much. I mean, I'm not afraid of them, but I mean, I don't go poking around. And usually if they keep their distance, I let them live in peace. But check them out. What's up with that? They huddle all up in a ball. Can you see them? Is it mating season for water bugs? I mean, there's like 20 or 30 there. When I walked up, they all just scattered and then they balled right back up. Bringing this camera out with me. I've got some deer on there and I'll show them to you. And, you know, some coons, but there's really not much interesting. And it looks like a whole bunch of deer crossed on this side because there's no water here either. So I'm going to pull it off this crossing until the water comes back up. It starts raining in the winter. I'll put this camera back up, but for right now there's just too many places for them to cross.